Hey everybody, just a 2-second blog today. I'm really proud of a dear, dear friend of mine by the name of Dave Sanderson. I'm sure many of you saw today, if you watched the news, everyone saw the miracle on the Hudson, as they called it, as the airplane that was taking off from LaGuardia, I think it was 3 o'clock this afternoon, had a double bird strike. And the pilot was miraculous in the way he landed the plane. He was trying to get back to LaGuardia and couldn't. And my dear friend Dave was on that flight. He was supposed to be on a flight later in the evening, and he got on an earlier flight to try and get home to his family. And he said it was all of a sudden you felt the whole, airplane start to shake, and they looked up and they were heading straight into Manhattan. If this man the pilot had not been just totally steady in the management of his state, everything we talk about here, he said, we were going to be crashing. There were going to be a lot of people dead, not just on the airplane, 150 people on the plane, but the buildings they would have hit. It would have been almost like a terrorist strike done from within our own country without meaning to be. But the pilot was brilliant, as I'm sure you know, and he landed in the Hudson rather than the ocean there. And he found a way to land the plane in a really flat way. But as they opened up and tried to get people out of the plane, there was a challenge. They got hit by a tugboat on the side, and water, Dave said, started to fill this thing up, and it was frigid, freezing water. And the reason I'm putting out this little message is really just to acknowledge my dear friend. He's one of those people that has such a good soul. He's for a decade and a half almost, he's been the head of my security, one of my head of my security team members, and traveled the world with me and practiced everything we teach about state management and how under the most stressful situations, how to find that center within yourself and how to find a way to serve. And Dave's a father, and he's got family, but he stayed on that plane. He was the last one off that airplane. He was being interviewed tomorrow morning, I know, by I think Good Morning America. But he was the last one on the airplane, and he is off the airplane, making sure everybody got off, making sure these children got on the lifeboat, holding the lifeboat back against the plane. It was really a team effort by all kinds of people, but he's the last one there, and he was so frozen at the end. He literally was trying to swim to the boat, and it was sinking, and a couple of guys grabbed him and pulled him up on the boat. And when I spoke to him, I guess it was a couple hours later, he was still freezing, but his whole focus was that he was supposed to be on that plane, that, when this all happened and people were freaking out, people were weird. Some people were trying to grab their luggage, if you could imagine, as the plane sinking there in the Hudson in the freezing water. But he had the coolness within his head to say, okay, I'm going to find a way to help people and serve, make sure everybody gets off healthy and safe, risked his own life to do it. So just a shout out to Dave Sanderson, just an unsung hero who I've known for years, whose character is rewarded today. I know his house was surrounded by the media there, and his daughter said, yeah, my dad knows Tony Robbins, and he's walked on fire. And Dave said, I just want to warn you, there's all this media coming. And he said, I just don't want you to get blindsided. I said, Dave, for me to be even slightly associated with your character, your positive, your heroic actions, I said, I can't complain about that in any way. I'm just really grateful that your wife and your children, who know who you are inside, have something even more to be proud of. And also that the kind of man I've known Dave to be all these years, the world knows him to be as well. So it's just a blog of acknowledgement saying every one of us got a hero inside. Every one of us has a capacity in the most difficult times to find our strength. And it's nice to see a miracle on the Hudson and know that part of that miracle was an extraordinary pilot, and another part of that was a dear friend who, even when he could barely function, made sure other people's lives were being saved and supported. So love you, Dave. And anybody watching, if you know Dave Sanderson and you're a graduate, send a little note out to him or reach out to him, let him know you love him. I'd really appreciate it. God bless you all. Live strong, live with passion. See you soon.